fabulous fiber friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Karen and I am your host. Before we get started today, Corrado, Lark and I set up a Zoom meeting and we wanted to catch up. We haven't seen each other in a while. And, I was in New York a lot last year, so I was able to see my New York knitting fiber buddies. And so we wanted to just catch up with each other. So we did. And Corrado has, he shared with me a lot of the projects he's working on and soon-ish to be released patterns that he's working on. So if all goes well and if I recorded on Zoom properly and downloaded it properly, I'm going to insert that here before we get started with all of my makes for the past week or two.
Cool.
Okay.
Hey, Corrado. Good to see you, Corrado.
How's it going?
I miss you guys. I missed my New York connection.
I know, it's crazy. The world.
Yeah. So
The world.
what are you working on?
I am knitting up a storm, like so much. It's almost to the point of a problem, but there is no such thing. So I've been doing garments, shawls, hats. It's kind of expanded to like whatever I think I want to make at that time is what I'm making, and it seems to work out.
Cool.
Which is great, Yeah. So like, let's see. What's my next thing?
Show us.
Yeah,
let's do show and tell.
Okay, show and tell. So this is my next sweater that I'm releasing. Marled-ish. Yeah, this is the front.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this is going to come out hopefully in the next few weeks. I've done a lot of testing on it. I've had a few tech editors just to confirm with everything because, for me, anything that's like basic doesn't ever seem to be super basic. And when I have to like very much simplify. So this is the second sweater I ever knit. Yet, I did this increased detail.
Oh yeah. Cool.
There, and then I mimicked it on the cuff.
Oh, cool. That's nice. Hey,
What?
I see one of the guys from Sweet Tea and No Shade is doing a test knit for you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So that's in the works right now. Thank goodness.
Right. So when do you think you'll release that?
I'm hoping in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
I'm meeting with my tech editor on Zoom tomorrow.
Cool.
Wool enthusiast. We just had we kind of find each other finally to iron out some details of what we're doing in the near future. So yeah, he's my sweater tech editor.
Nice.
My grading, because I grade for this is 12 sizes for this one. I'm making sure that it's as small and large as I can possibly manage, and just kind of have a grid in the pattern already. So you basically just choose your own adventure and you adjust to your own size. So it's not.
So it can go for women to men, the sizing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's 29 inch to 63 inch.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think. Yeah. So, and then, basically you just adjust everything, as you go. But this part is alternating marling and holding single.
Mm-hmm.
So it has this drapier, airier thing that kind of holds your body in a little naturally without any actual shaping.
And it sort of looks like ribbing or something, which is really nice effect. Yeah.
Yeah, I call it it's like a pooling stripe.
Mm-hmm. Or striping.
It does, stripe still, but.
Yeah, it's really nice. Pretty.
Yeah, that's. Mm-hmm.
What's the sweater you're wearing?
This is an interesting story with this. So this was the third sweater that I started, but then I took break. And with a lot of these sweaters that I've been working on, just because of how I developed, how I've always knit, it's kind of just me experimenting and figuring it out whatever way I can and making it work. And I was really struggling because I was trying to do raglans, and I was really struggling at finding the right fit at the top of when I was constructing. So I ended up coming up with this construction idea, and I went for it. And this was supposed to be a shawl. Well, this is the same. It's wool folk, So it's I released a mortaring shawl like a little bit ago, and it's in the same DK. And they ended up like, you know, sending me an extra skein because I was like, oh, I need to do a t-shirt, not a shawl, which was great. But then, so I ended up, you know, knitting it, whatever. I'm talking to the wool enthusiast and I go, you know, this is the, you know, what I'm doing with a lot of my sweaters. I'm finding that it gives me the better fit, and, you know, everything. And he's like, oh, I haven't really seen that. And I was like, okay, so what do I want to call this? And I was like, it's, you know, it's a hybrid. So I was like, the hybrid. So this is going to be probably the hybrid tee. You know, I'll give a little, I'm wearing shorts, you're welcome. But you have a little bit of shaping here.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Tiny bit of rib.
But
You know,
it's nice. It's
sleeve.
short-sleeved. It's
Yeah,
very
it's
loosey-goosey. Yeah.
and that, you know, so it's like you can, you know, again, it'll be that big sizes, and you just do whatever you want. So it's kind of basic tee is the idea.
Nice.
But it's interesting. So, you know, I thought of this hybrid idea, and I go, literally, this is, you know, I had another name for this, and last night I just thought of like, oh, I'm just going to call it that because it's so basic, but, you know, you can see the detail.
Yep.
Where I kind of space it out a little.
Yep.
And I go online, and, you know, I taught myself how to knit a few years ago. It's all been just either like YouTube tutorials or just me playing around. And I just search Ravelry going, you know, I wonder if, you know, the hybrid. And I search hybrid. And like 20, 30 patterns down, there was only like maybe 40, 50 patterns at most. And none of them were really in the same name, which is something I always look for.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And then, but one of them was a sweater in a collection by Elizabeth Zimmerman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, it was just like top-down seamless, easy construction, and she almost called it it's called like the hybrid in there. And I was like, how in the world did I end up just playing around, coming up with something that one of the most, you know, prolific knitwear designers out there has done in their own experimentation. So it made me feel like, okay, I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
You know? So anyway. So
you and Elizabeth.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, never got to speak, but thanks, girl. Like.
So when do you think, now, so this will be released after the marled sweater?
Yeah, the marled sweater is going to be first, because I've been testing it for like 2-3 months now, just because I gave, like, when I test the larger sizes, I like to give them a lot of, you know, time just to make sure we can iron out as much as possible and not stress people. So yeah, it was supposed to be a few weeks ago, but we ended, or like this weekend, but I pushed it a little. This one's not going to be, this one's actually the next after my next garment. So it's 2 down the line. Okay. So it'll be like at late summer.
Okay.
Because it's, you know, it is still a wool DK. So it's like, it's early fall wear, you know.
Like a transitional piece.
Yeah.
Because then you can wear a tank or t-shirt under it, or just like that.
It's funny you say tank.
Is this the one that has a secret thing that you can't share yet?
What is this?
A tank.
Tank.
I love it.
Yeah. So this is in Julia Slane DK, her merino silk. So It's like a little lighter, you know.
It has nice drape.
You know, it's a little garter detail on the back.
Nice. Is this the one that has the little secret sauce that you can't share yet?
This part? Oh, no. Some of it's. We're gonna, when we're done recording, me and you, I'm gonna show you some other stuff.
Okay.
But I'll share what's, you know, when we can. This is fun. Anyway.
No, this is a great tank.
So yeah, it's called Fish Tanked. Thanks to Stefanie of Asylum Fibers.
Oh, fish?
Yes, like a fish tank.
Oh, duh.
Stefanie.
I know,
let it sink in.
I'm like, huh? Yeah, and that's dumb because my husband Walter, who you've met, his hobby is fish, and so we have fish tanks in the house. Like, duh.
I really want one. I had a betta fish for a little bit 2 years ago. Rest in peace, Thori. Anyway, Anyway, so yeah, fish tank.
Oh, that's funny.
DK, like 1 or 2 color, doesn't matter. This is actually I graded for 16 sizes. So it's every 2 inches, basically, it's graded out for. And the construction's pretty wild and wacky, but, you know, it's mostly top down.
Really? I was just going to ask if it's bottom up. Okay.
No, it starts here. It starts here. And then you do your straps. And then you're going to do the front. And then you pick up or provisional and do your back. And then join all together.
Okay.
And knit in the round. So this I knit in maybe a week.
Okay.
You know, once
yeah, love that. Fast knits.
This was two skeins of DK, so I think even at its largest, it's like 4 skeins.
Oh.
You know, I'm adapting it so like you would add an extra skein if you want extra long. There's ways to make it so that this doesn't droop out as much. Like I wanted it to be like a muscle tank, like as a gym would kind of wear is the idea. Sure. And a lot of times those are just like very drapey, oversized down here, and just show a little.
Right. Your muscles.
Yeah, you gotta show the muscles.
Pecs.
So I've taken some real cute pictures in it. We'll put it that way.
I've seen a few. I think you've already posted a few, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I went out in the rain and I went and did a photo shoot. And then, yeah.
It's a fish tank in the wet T-shirt.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's cool. I have to make that for summer because then I could wear like something under it. Well, we girls will have to wear a little something under it. Yeah.
You can also pick up the neckline. So you would just pick up in this, you know, it's hard to even show.
Make it short. Yeah.
And so you could close up the neckline some.
Oh, yeah.
And you can pick up out here.
Yeah.
And just make the strap wider.
Right.
And you know, I'm writing very simply how to do that in the pattern. And I think like it's kind of, once you explain it that way, it's a little self-explanatory of just picking up. But yeah, I do want that. It's very flexible.
But it can also be very cute with like a lacy camisole underneath for we gals. And then and then it hangs so you can see the lace underneath.
I don't have it my pictures that I took some in just the tank. But then for me as a guy, it's a hoodie. Yeah. Like a blue zip up hoodie, and this looks great underneath it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
so it's like and that's something that's been like something I've been really more focused on now that I'm doing garment is going like what defines unisex, what defines male or female garment. And to me, I don't think there is anything that really does define it. And I think in essence, you know, any pattern can be adapted for any sex or any gender or any, you know, whatever color you want. It's about personal expression. So, you know, like, you know, I've had tanks, but it's not like I typically wore one with straps or anything. But I went, you know what? It's easy. It's fun. Let's do it. And I love it. I wear it all the time.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
No, and I think this like not unisex or what are they calling it? Non-gender based clothing.
Yes.
Because like my husband, he doesn't care. Like he loves pink, he loves color, he loves crazy.
It took me a while, and we talked about this because me and pink were not friends, and now we're loving each other.
Oh yeah, I mean and pink actually looks really great on men too. It brings out nice coloring in their complexion.
I'd always gone to purple. It's in the same family-ish, you know, idea. Yeah. And I'd always gone to that as like a Sicilian American olive skin. Yeah. So I always gravitate to that like jewel tone, and then just going over to that pink gives me like a highlight to that more so than I thought. You know, like so it's complementing that. And my other favorite color right now is chartreuse.
Oh, I was looking at my color wheel yesterday, and because I'm a cool complected person, I need cool colors. Yeah. And I said, oh my God, chartreuse kind of falls a little bit on the cooler side. It's like warm, cool, but I could get away with it, I think, maybe.
Yes. I think more people can, because I think it contrasts and complements everything in some way.
You have something?
I used to sit through AP Calc and draw dots on paper, and I would connect them, and I would just make different, like, you know, designs with that throughout all the classes. I got a 64 in AP Calc. I barely passed just because I didn't do any homework. I drew dots, but I still aced the test, you know? So, so then it was at Rhinebeck last year, Mina Phillip, the knitting expert.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed with her, and she showed me and Tim Kelly a dot journal that she'd been using, and she loves it. So he ended up getting me one, and I have now started drawing like I did and realizing how well that translates to knitting.
Really?
And you know,
like how does it translate? Ah, look at that. Wow. Oh, that's far. Yeah, that's great.
And like,
so you started with some dots and then just sort of created this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna show you like one of the actual drawings because this one's totally temporary, but like, or you know, I was just playing
don't
around.
give away any secrets. The picture you just showed me made me think a little bit of, do you know what fractals are?
Yeah.
And right, so there's a little one, and they're always the same size. And Walter is obsessed with fractals. So when he sees a picture of fractals, and so this hat sort of reminds me of that too. It kind of has a little bit reminds me of that. Yeah, I love this hat. Oh my gosh!
Thank you. Yeah, and a corrugated rib is my other new favorite thing.
Oh, I know, corrugated rib, right? It's so great.
It's like, you know, it's slip stitch mixed with like brioche almost. It's got the same sort of vibe, and I love that about it. And how it just pops.
Yeah. No, really nice. Beautiful.
Thanks. So yeah.
Cool. What else?
I mean,
anything else?
This is coming out soon. It's, you know, very beginner friendly, reversible, just cowls, and then there's also a hat. And I'm looking.
It's very texturized.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello Mellow hand spun.
It's really nice, the texture.
Yeah, and reversible. So in the reverse, it looks like this.
Oh yeah, look at that.
It, you know, it's just a different.
And is it long enough you can double it up to make it really squishy around your neck, or you can wear it long?
I haven't blocked this one yet. And Tim Kelly knit it for me.
Okay.
But you know, for me,
Oh yeah.
It does it just perfect.
Perfectly.
You know?
Perfect.
And then, so yeah, I graded it for like the long version, and then if you want the smaller cowl, it's, you know, there. And then
you can use it, and you can use it as a mask.
Right. Well, in the hat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
You know.
Yeah, put all your colors on. There you go. Now you're protected. Yeah.
I'm ready to fight the coronas. Oh, my glasses are fogging up.
Oh my God. That's
anyway,
fun.
So this is I'm gonna call Crown It.
Crown It, okay.
Crown It.
Yeah.
Because you know, it got a crownish theme. It has all every accessory you can need except for like gloves, which maybe I'll get to next year. And then I've also noticed I have a lot of royalty themes. I tend to go to royalty.
Like Merkel and Harry and
classic, and like that silhouette of like, you know, it's just power. So yeah.
Nice. Oh, fun. God, you've got a lot of stuff done. You've been so productive the past few months.
Yes. I think I was planning on all of this year to be working on what I completed last month. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I am like, what's that, 8-9 months ahead? Yeah, it's you know, I'm loving doing it. It's like I'm just experimenting, and we're just playing with what you know works, and especially garment now.
But now you have more time to experiment because you've been able to check off your list, right?
No social pressure.
Yeah.
I can check off my list, get ahead. I don't feel like guilty about it. which is like one of the things I get a lot of about, like when I'm doing this, is I feel guilt when I'm sitting here working all the time on it. Like, what's that about? Like, that's being productive,
about?
smart, getting myself ahead, doing something good as I see it for like the world. Like, I want people to feel that sort of like freedom when they get to their yarn and their needles. Like, that's where I want
for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what the guilt's about. I work very hard on letting it go.
Get rid of that guilt.
I meditate daily. Dr. Joe Dispenza, thank you. Yeah.
Corrado, look at you. Look at you.
Yeah. How about you? What's going on? Where's the knitting?
Oh my gosh. My knitting. I'm doing a pair of socks. I'm doing toe up.
Okay.
But anyway, so that's my little sock thing. So
and DPNs too.
I love DPNs.
DPNs.
I'm not really a magic loop. I've tried it once, and it just, because when I get to the end and I set it down, and I've only tried it once or twice, but somehow it was I don't know. It just, to me, this works better.
I can't work DPNs. I don't have a pair, but I've tried with people's and been like, I can teach with it, like I've been able to do that much, but I'm a magic looper.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on my show today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
And I can't wait to see you in New York again.
I know. Someday soon, our world will be beautiful and normal again.
I know. I hope so.
And
okay.
by normal, I mean,
Anyway. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. So thank you, Corrado. And we really look forward to seeing all your new pattern releases. So stay tuned for that. If you do not subscribe to Corrado on Instagram, do, and that way you can keep up to date with all of his designs. Now, you guys, we need to talk about, hello. I don't want to say too much about this pattern because my last episode, I talked extensively about, this is the Garland sweater by Stefanie, Stefanie, Pollmeier. And this sweater is the second version I made. And I did a slightly different neckline because I was playing Yarn Chicken. And I changed the sleeves up a little bit, which I'll show you here. And I just think I made this one because I think it's a much better color to the skirt. It just matches the skirt much better than my first version, which I love. And the first version has this beautiful kind of 1960s neckline. I'll insert a photo. But because I didn't have enough yarn, I wasn't able to do that full 60s neckline. So this one just, it just comes a little closer around the neck, which is fine. I love it. So that is my only finished object for this week. And if you want the details, please refer to my very last podcast in which I talk about all the details for this Garland sweater. Next, OMG. Can you believe it? I'm knitting a sock. I swore I would never try it again. I tried once before. It was unsuccessful. I swear to God that Bigfoot could have worn my sock, and that one just went boom right in the trash. I just couldn't even deal with it, and so I never touched a sock again. So let me show you. That is where I'm at with this sock. It's just a plain vanilla sock, and I will write down below here the YouTube person who I followed the cast on for this toe-up sock, and I don't recall her name up at the moment, so I will insert that below. And so I'm just doing a basic vanilla sock. I decided this is probably about the toe area. I'm switching yarns, and I have to say, you guys, this is the Koigu yarn. It's their twist, and it is so lovely for socks. It just has it's a nice sturdy feeling yarn. And then the speckled yarn is by Dyed in the Wool. It is the Winky, W-I-N-K-Y colorway. And I got that from the Altered Stitch. And I really, really like that. So that is probably this sock will probably be for my husband. I tried it on my toes, and it seems it's not big, but it doesn't fit snugly, so I think it'll probably in the end be too big for my too big for my feet. So my husband may end up inheriting these if I happen to finish the second sock of the pair. What else is in progress? From Mode Rowan, I've showed you guys this in the past. There is a lot, they have so many beautiful sweaters in here, but this is the long line cardigan. I completed one of the pieces. There's 2 front panels and a back panel. So I completed one of my front panels. Here is that. So I'm thrilled to be done with that, and I'm loving this creative linen yarn. It is so nice, and I think when I wash it, oh my gosh, it's going to be even, you know, some linen yarns can feel kind of crispy, and this one's very soft, and I think when it's washed, it's going to be even softer. But this is not crispy, or I've worked with some linen yarns that feel a little rough, and this is not rough at all. So if you haven't tried it, check out Creative Linen by Rowan. It's really fabulous. Especially now, right, with our spring and summer knits. And it turns out that many of you know about Not Perfect Linen. I think Amy from La Bien-Aimée, she has a lot of their linen dresses. And that's probably where I first became familiar with Not Perfect Linen. And I've ordered quite a few garments from them, which I love. And they have a new colorway, this emerald green, which I cannot believe how close it matches. Isn't that amazing? So I think, well, I don't think, I know, I'm going to buy another pair of pants. Yes, I know, I'm taking up sewing, and yet I'm not so good at I'm not so good at pants. So I think what I'll do is I'll order from Not Perfect Linen, and I will get a pair of pants, linen pants, in this green color, because these two together and maybe like a white tank or something will look super groovy for spring and summer. I guess it's already spring, so for spring and summer. So I'm very thrilled about that. I've started on, for this cardigan, I've started on the back piece. I figured I would, I wanted to do an easy front panel. I'll do the back panel, and that way when I'm done with the back panel, it'll be easy to do the front panel. Psychologically, I'll think, oh my God, I have so little to do. And so then that will be finished. Sew it up, and I will be good to go. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I have brought out my sewing machine, and I am sewing again. Part of it was inspired by the masks, and yet, even prior to that, Constance from Stitching Over the Days podcast and Trish and Arthella, Tie-Dye Diva and Eris Knits, who both have a podcast, and they are prolific sewers. Sewists. And I've been watching them for a long, long time, and I'm just so inspired by all the sewing that they have been doing. Arthella has made many versions of dress number 1 by Sonja Phillips of 100 Acts of Sewing. I have been coveting that dress, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can sew. I have a machine. Well, I shouldn't say I can sew. I know a few basics, but I have a sewing machine, and I really want to put it to good use. So I moved my sewing machine into my craft room here, off to the side here. It's off to my right, your left. But there's a bright window here, which is great because then I get proper lighting. Plus the overhead lighting in here is much better than in the room it was, where it was stored before. And I never sewed there because the room was dark and it was just a mess. So now that I have my machine here, I'm just like obsessed with sewing. I'm really glad that I have been inspired by those ladies to, I don't want to say pick up the needles, so I guess, what would you say for sewing? Pick up the fabric and start sewing again. So I made this dress. This is a dress number 1. I will have to insert some video because I can't show you the whole thing here. I belted this version today, And I have a lace slip that I found on Amazon, but it has a little lace bottom that I'll insert some photos or video here so you can see it. Then I ordered fabric. There's a fabric store in Santa Monica called the Sewing Arts Center, and I haven't been there in ages. So I went a little crazy. Here's a little summer theme with octopus, octopi, and little fish, seahorses, and I just thought this was fun. Oh, there's little crabs in here. So I thought that would be that's a pretty fabric, so I bought that. Oh my God, you guys too. I think they ship all over the country. My fabric pieces are so beautifully cut. They're not, sometimes when I've purchased fabric before, the edges are kind of sloppy. These people are so professional at the sewing center. My edges, I took and everything was, this is how it came. It arrived beautifully squared like this. I mean, it was just so well put together, so well packaged. I really love it. So this is another fabric I purchased. And then this is this called, I forgot if it's cotton lawn or if this is a rayon blend. It's a more, what would I call it? Like a rayon, it has more of a flimsy, not flimsy, lighter and more drapey texture to it. I don't want to undo it right now. But there's my teal with a lot of flowers in it. And lastly, they call this hot pink. To me, this is more of an orchid color. And I really was looking for hot pink. But that's okay. I ordered from Joann's, there is a ruffly material that I wanted to make like a petticoat or something. And I think when it arrives, I'm not sure because they're from two different stores, that it might be a pretty petticoat for underneath the dress made with that. It might be pretty with the dress made with this fabric. Because I love this pattern. It is so easy and is super beginner friendly. So this dress number 1 by 100 Acts of Sewing. If you are not familiar with it, check it out. And if you're new to sewing, or maybe you want to start sewing, this is a great pattern because I have no clue what I'm doing, or barely. And I was able to whip this out. Well, this one took a little longer. It was my first one. But yesterday, I woke up at, let's see, today is Friday the 24th. So yesterday, Thursday the 23rd, I was up at 7. I plugged in my iron, turned it on, got my sewing machine, changed my thread. I had cut my fabric pieces the night before so that yesterday morning at 7, I made my coffee and immediately started sewing. So I finished the dress with the flowers that I showed you shortly ago. I finished that in the morning. Oh, and I did French seams. That's the fabric I got. So if you live in the area, or if you don't and you want to check out the Sewing Arts Center in Santa Monica, they have a website. I ordered this in the morning on the 21st. So Tuesday the 21st, I ordered this fabric in the morning. I had the fabric Wednesday the 22nd. Now I know I live close by, so it was very easy to get here that quickly. But that's how fast. They are shipping out. If you order before 3, the woman told me that if you order before 3, shipment usually goes out that day. So you'll get your stuff right away. In addition, all of my sewing, you guys, I have made many, many masks. The many faces of Karen. So I have all of my masks to go with different outfits. And I found that shoelaces work really well. You can't find any elastic in the stores, on Amazon. Elastic is just gone. So one night I was thinking, my God, I've got these beautiful masks and I want to wear them to match my outfits. and what can I use? And I don't know why, I don't know where the idea came from, but it popped in my head that, oh my gosh, what about a shoelace? And it turns out I had some spare new shoelaces for probably for some sneakers or something that I had never used. And so I tried, and they work perfectly. So you have to make sure that your edges, that there's enough space in here to run like you would elastic. So you just make sure there's enough space to run the lace through, and put it over your neck. You can put this up, cinch the two ends, and then tie it behind your head, and there you have it. It's close fitting, covers your nose, and my glasses will sit fine. I do not have a metal or a solid piece of something in the bridge of the nose, because I know that's a problem. Like with the N95s, we do have them here, but we find too we can't wear our glasses, and the glasses fog up, and there's all sorts of issues. So for this, because it's just fabric, then your glasses will stay on, which is nice. It hangs around your neck. It's there when you need it. If you cannot find elastic, if you do not have a stockpile of elastic in your craft room, then shoelaces work just as well. Oh, and what length of shoelace? 48 or 54 inch length, somewhere in there, should work really well for the length. There are several patterns out there that are this shape. I found that MimiG, she offers you a free pattern. So if you want to make masks, check out MimiG, and she has a free pattern and video tutorials on how to sew this mask. Woo! I've run out of steam. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today and subscribing and liking or thumbs up or whatever it is we do in our social media world here. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!